Good morning, this is Rescue Boss. I'm going to reshoot my video on first aid kits. I wanted to start off with the kits that I have around my house and some of the stuff I carry in my vehicle or at work. These are far from being the perfect kits, but I tell people this is what I have come up with. What works for me may not work for you. So part of the solution is figuring out what you're trying to build. One would be, is it an individual kit? Is it a active shooter bag? Is it a trauma bag? Is it a medical bag? What are you trying to do with those kits? And one of the first things I always tell people is make that list. Figure out what you're looking to do so that you can figure out what supplies you're going to need. Because these pre-made kits that you can buy from the stores are not always the perfect kit. Perfect example is, I don't know how many have ever seen these, the hard case clear plastic first aid kits. Well, if you look at the back and read them, one of the biggest things they carry in this kit, and I forget what it was, it's probably a 100 or 200 piece first aid kit. But alone of that, we're looking at over 50 Band-Aids. 50 Band-Aids is a lot of Band-Aids, but when you look at your kit, you take that out, that doesn't leave a lot of stuff left in it. So what I have done is taken my kits and have added to them. But making sure you know what's in them. You know, when we're going to try to look at this, I'll try to show you what's in it. Oh, bless me. Enlisted. One is first aid instructions. Having a way to know what to do, or somebody know what to do if a trained person is not there. So having first aid instructions. Having Band-Aids. Yes, I keep a lot of Band-Aids in this one. This is my kit in the house under the sink. So if something happens, my wife knows where to look. I have all different ones, from little ones, big ones, knuckle Band-Aids, whatever. Some other things I keep in my kits is your antiseptic hand wipes, alcohol preps to help clean up the wound, first aid and burn cream, antiseptic type stuff. You can get these, over the counter a lot of times. Some small roller gauze, like 1-inch roller gauze I keep in mind. Gloves, a small roll of tape, Durabond / super glue. So if it's a deep laceration, I may be able to treat myself. Some Coban or Pet Wrap, as all different names. Iodine, benzyne, Tenger, swab sticks. Some of this stuff, if somebody's very sweaty, you put this on and that'll help. We use it on the paramedic trucks when we are trying to do a 12 lead. If they're very sweaty, we'll swab them with it. Tongue depressor, I can use that for a splint, for a finger, or looking in their mouth. Tweezers are in here. So this is just a basic kit. My wife knows where it is. If I'm not home, besides everyday Band-Aids, we keep in my medicine cabinet at home. So this is just one type of kit. Like I said, this is kept under the sink. The wife knows where this is. So that's one way I do it. Another one I have is this one. Yes, the outer side of it's all torn up, beat up, but I like this specific pouch, and I will use this until it falls apart because of the design. They make a smaller one now. They don't have this exact size, but until it falls apart totally, I'll keep on using it. This one has a lot of stuff in it. This one I have really beefed up. I bought it because I liked the design. This is a fold-out type pouch, so it has a lot of room in it, as you can see from the on the video here. And I'll go over some of this. On this side, I keep my cold medicine, NyQuil nighttime, daytime, cotton swabs. Again, your tongue depressors, which can be used for a splint or looking in somebody's mouth. Sting swabs for your bee stings. Burn cream, first aid cream is on this one if I would need it. Over here, over on this side here, I have my Benadryl, some 2x2s, 4x4s, safety pins, a mirror, 5x9s, gloves, steri strips are in here, abdomen dressings. In this area here, I keep my tape along with an emergency blanket, a bunch of Band-Aids, a blister kit. That type of stuff is all in this pouch. Band-Aids, various sizes. Cellox Quick Clot is on this one. It's the powder. It's not the best, but it's something. Sudafed type stuff, Pepto-Bismol, antiseptic wipes, along with alcohol preps. Durabond again, I keep in here just in case I would need it. On this side, Tylenol, Advil, aspirin, non-aspirin, antibiotic ointments, bacitracin, sunscreen, Blistex, insect protectant. One of the things I did have in here, but I've used it all and I got to order more, is my for poison ivy, poison oak. They make us like a wipe, and my wife will tell you she's used it. It has worked awesome for her. She'll break out from it. I can't go near the stuff because I have a reaction to it. So a lot of that, she'll be pulling weeds and I'll get into it. So this is another kit I keep in my house. This one I keep together. This is my small boo-boo bag. If we need it. I've used it numerous times for helping, especially during hunting season when people are butchering, they'll wind up getting cut, whatever. I can try to help put their hand back together. This orange pouch is my advanced pouch. This is not for me, but it's kept here if something would happen in bad times or whatever. I have able to start IV access, keep some fluid, drip set, needles, all that's kept in this pouch. If something bad would happen, I have that at the house because I know a lot of friends that are paramedics that can start IVs or even in there or something like that. Or if it's a disaster, I can grab this and take it with me. So I think it's very important to have equipment that you can start. I don't keep a lot of fluid, but hey, it's something to get you started until help arrives or if it's a disaster. This pouch and this tannin one sit together at all times. So these two are always together. I keep them together for purpose, so if I need them, I know where they're at. In my work bag, I keep this. This is more of a personal first aid kit. I got the pouch for nothing, but I think it's important to have access to this stuff. I keep a cap tourniquet in my work bag. A cravat can be used for bandaging. Can be used as a splint. It can also be used for a tourniquet if I needed to. Not the best, but it could add as a second tourniquet. set of gloves, an emergency blanket. Yes, it's orange and silver. It's not made to be for a security purpose to limit my visibility, but it's used for one, signaling or an emergency. So I keep one of those in here. Some other things I have in my pouch that I think is important. Not everybody carries this type of stuff, but I do. I keep various different meds from Advil, Tylenol, Pepto, Visine, eye solution stuff, Tums, a thermometer, an oral thermometer, digital, along with the probes, a pair of mini trauma shears in here, glucose for diabetics, some basic Band-Aids are in here. Another thing I don't know if it's in this pouch or my other pouch. I think it's in my everyday pouch. I have the head thermometers too. Some other things I keep in on this side is more medicines. In here is your 5x9s, burn dressings for the hand area, small areas, enough to try to cool it to stop the burning process. Some 5x9s, these silver occlusive gauze dressings. I can take the foil part of it and use it to seal chest wounds. If somebody had a chest wound, I keep a nasal airway in this bag. So if I need to put for an airway in somebody, I can. Steri strips again, some 4x4s, some medicines, alcohol preps. In here is your aspirin, non-aspirin. Trying to think if there's any oddball stuff in this one. Pretty much everything that's in the other ones are in here. Cold medicine, Advil, all that type of stuff. So this is my second pouch that I carry. This is in my work bag. I do work on a paramedic truck. Disclosure to everything is, if you're not trained to use some of this stuff, don't be using it. That's how you get into trouble. That's my disclosure. Remember my training. I have been involved in EMS almost 30 years, so I understand it. I'm not just some John Doe off the street talking about first aid kits. Another kit that I carry in my work bag is this. This is my active shooter bag. The only thing missing out of this right now, only because I was teaching yesterday, is my emergency blanket, which I'm going to be trying to pick up another one, so I have one in here. But the emergency blanket I took out of here to show people what they look like. This is my active shooter bag. It's designed that if there's a shooting, I can respond with this pouch, work out of this pouch. This pouch is designed to be attached to a belt and hang from the belt so that I can work hands-free with this pouch. The design is there so that I can face my threat versus trying to look down at the patient. This bag is designed that I can work out of this bag by hand without looking for the objects. And it uses the March method. March, the first thing I'm going to worry about is neutralize that threat if I can. If I can't, getting the person to safety or returning fire is the key. But in this pouch, I keep two cap tourniquets, along with an ace bandage, pet wrap, a glow stick. Glow stick is for marking the door. If there's a lot of victims, I can hang it on the door so people know where to go. I can say go to the whatever color glow stick. They'll know where to go. The idea is tourniquets are going to be one of the first things I grab. That's why I keep it here. Because your tourniquet's going to be for massive bleeding. Other things that I'm going to worry about after I get the bleeding controlled, the threats neutralized, get the person off the X or the hot zone, then I can worry about airways. So I keep my nasal airways in here if I would need them. So that's important stuff to keep. Some other things I have in here are the Vaseline petroleum gauze pads, but I can use this foil as chest seals if I need it. I keep some basic 4x4s. I also keep my chest needles. Yes, I am not certified to do these, but they're in my bag, so if somebody else is trained, they're able to decompress a chest if they need it. Expired pediatric pads. And some people would say, why the expired PD pads? I can use these as chest seals. And some of our SWAT medics are carrying these as extra chest seals if they don't have the hyphen or some of the other forms of chest seals. But these will work in a pinch to seal the chest if there was a leak. That's the design of my active shooter bag. It's nothing crazy fancy, but it's designed that I can work hands-free in the environment to treat wounds. And then, remember, when I'm looking for the injuries, I can use my hands to look for an injury. I can feel bleeding if I needed to. Remember, what does blood feel like in an emergency? Remember, blood is warm. So that's important to remember. It's like my best description of what is blood like. I tell people, and people are gonna hate me. It almost feels like maple syrup. It may be warm, it may be sticky, but realize we need to look for injuries when we're out there. We need to do hands-on and look to try to find injuries. Remember, your clothes can hold a lot of blood. So you may have to take your finger and go, we call it the bear claw method, and feel, because you may feel with your fingers that type of injury when you're searching the body. You may find that hole in somebody, and then you can start treatments if you need to. And if you're doing the leg or an arm, remember, it's going to be tough for me to simulate it, and only because I don't have a mannequin here that I can do it on. But picture, when you squeeze, use two hands, squeeze the arm. Start up here, 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to look at my hands, see if I see any blood, because sometimes you may not see it or feel it. Then I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Check my hands again. And I'm going to do that throughout my assessment. Remember, when I'm doing my assessment, I start at the head and I work my way down. Feel the head. What does it feel like? See if you feel any blood. Do they have neck pain? And work your way down. Push on the chest. Quick do a sweep. If you're working your way down, then go to the legs, the pelvis, the arms are the last. It should take about a minute and a half to do a head to toe assessment to be able to find those injuries, and if there's massive bleeding, try to treat it, stop it, and have the proper equipment. Because how many people are on blood thinners nowadays? Like aspirin or Plavix or warfarin. So I tell people be prepared for that. Because the bad part is believe it or not, with some of the heroin here in PA, we've had it mixed with blood thinners. So these people are overdosing on the heroin fentanyl, and it turns out they're also bleeding to death because they're mixing it with a blood thinner. So I tell people, you got to be prepared. You don't know what you're going to run into. And the most important thing to remember is your safety is more important than anything else. So hopefully this video is informative. Like I said, I am far from the proper person to do a lot of lectures, but I wanted to get this out there, redo my other video. Hopefully this sounds a lot better than my last one. If you have specific questions about first aid kits, let me know. Like I said, this is another video that I'm doing. Not sure how many more I'll get done today, but I'm trying to push out some videos so people can get a chance to look at them and understand how to prepare, because now as winter gets there, we can have issues, amputations from snowblower accidents, it can happen because people forget, even though the machine's off, if it's under pressure when it was blocked and you reach in, that blade may backspin. Do you have the equipment to treat them? And remember, not everybody knows my background. Not everybody's been in my shoes. But I can tell you, in the last 3 years, I have used 12 tourniquets on patients. Some have been multiple tourniquets due to the massive injuries. And none of those injuries were gunshot wounds. They were trauma related from car accidents, motorcycle accidents, or industrial accidents. So you must realize, having the proper equipment is the key. Being trained is the key. And the more you train, it becomes muscle memory. So be prepared for that. So I tell people, making sure you're ready for an emergency is the key. So for now, I'm going to sign off. Today's Friday the 30th of November. And until later, this is Rescue Boss signing off. Have a great day.